Good evening, guys, and welcome back to the Global Racing Network. We're back here for round number 19 and the final round of GRL Season 3 Tier 1 here at Abu Dhabi in the UAE. And this is the one where it all counts. The final round of the season, and it's going to be an absolute cracker as we see CRE Void make his way out onto circuit. I am going to get the championship standings up because I haven't made the last couple of races to see where we are in regards to points. And it is tied at the top between Tomgo Prof and D-Held Branco in the Mercedes. Well, Tom is currently sat on 268 points to D-Held Branco's 253. So it is going to be a very interesting race indeed to see who is going to get anything out of this race. Realistically, you'd think D-Held Branco needs to win tonight to give himself the opportunity, and you'd think Tom needs to have an absolute nightmare of a race. Tom did retire last time out in Brazil, but at the same time D-Held Branco did not start the last 3 races, so you could arguably say D-Held Branco is going to be a little bit rusty, having not raced in 3. Only time will tell if that is going to pay off or work against him tonight. Apologies there as my controller decided to disconnect. I'm just going to double check my mic is working, and it is. We're good. So apologies about that. Unfortunately, my controller is being very temperamental recently and is just cutting itself out when it feels like it. So if I do cut off a few points during the race tonight, I do apologise. Void makes his way round the next few corners. CRE Void's actually Void Beam. He's renamed himself since the last race we had here on the Global Racing Network. So Void round the final few corners, see what he can put on the board. As a banker lap, he's taken one of the cones with him there. It's a 1:35.1 to open up. Who we got? Is that Spray and Pray? No, it's his teammate Avenged Delphi coming around the final corner in the Williams. Over the line, 1:36.4 for him. So plenty of room for improvement. Mac Magician in the Ferrari this evening, invalidated on that run, so we'll skip back to Galgro. Galgro's invalidated as well. Lucas Percy not on a lap. D-Held Branco is on 1 though, as he's coming under the hotel. Sweeping his way through the harbour here at Yas Marina. Over the line, D-Held Branco 1:35.8. He's going to need to find the time quicker than that if he's going to have a chance tonight. Just Gaming in the AlphaTauri, 1:37.2 for him. So plenty up and down the order. Deadly Mosquito around the final corner. Over the line he comes, 1:43.8. Very far off the pace, it must be added. That one. Wreck Diver just slots in between D-Held Branco and Void. We're 1:35.7. Wompre's had he's retired in the pit lane actually, my apologies. Thought he had a crash, but he is retired. I think Wompre, if I'm not wrong, might be serving a quali ban tonight. I will double check that at some point, but I'm pretty sure he is. NZ Pro 136.8 for him to open up his occasion. Dr. Troop, well, True Pox should I say, in the Haas. Teammate Galgro as well is yet to get a time on the board. He's actually pulling his teammate Galgro along here. Galgro's actually on an outlap, so they might try and use each other's toe at some point. What's Lucas Percy up to? He's on a lap, just coming into the final sector now. Final few corners. Lucas Percy, nice and tidy through there. Heading for the final few corners. Oh, he gets all over the curb there. That's going to cost him a bit of time. Car bouncing around and he's looped it round. Lucas Percy. Has he kept that one out of the wall? I don't think he has, you know. He's waiting for a safe gap to rejoin. And I think he's lost his front wing in that one. I think he has gone into the wall. Oh no, he hasn't. He's got away with it. He's kept it out. So, might be a little bit of damage on that car. It was a full-on 360 was that one. Just about lives to fight another day. Sean Torella, it comes down to this for Tom and Branco. It certainly does tonight. He's not wrong at all. Say Tongo Prof on 268, DL Branco on 253. It is going to go right to the wire tonight. Between the two of them. And it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. I mean, to be fair as well, I know he's not racing tonight. If Noise Job was racing tonight, we couldn't really count him out of the equation either, but unfortunately he's not in the game tonight. So he is out of the championship fight. If he had started, he might have had a chance, you know. My maths, if Tongo Prof and Dale Branco, I'll just quickly do my maths. I think if Tom and Dale Branco failed to score, yeah, if the that's quite funny. If Noise Job had raced tonight and won and got fastest lap, and Tom and Dale Branco failed to score points, Noise Job would have had the championship tonight, but he's not here, so he's I think he might have made a mistake on that one. And he would have had the he would have been tied on points with Tom, but he's got a better record than Tom throughout the last 5 races, so that would have mean he would have been champion. So that'll be interesting to see, but he's not here, so he's ruled himself out of that one. He's going to let Tom and Dale Branco scrap it away between the two of them. Avenged Alfie, purple first sector for the Williams driver, currently sat in P6 with a 136.4 on the board as he makes his way down the back straight. Straight lining it as much as possible, turning the car in, looking fairly tidy through there. And he makes his way down the support pit straight. And he's 2 tenths up on his best time so far, say, which is a 136.4. This could break him. In fact, it wouldn't even move him up a position actually, because the others ahead of him are all on 135, so he's going to have to find a bootload of time in this last sector if he's going to move anywhere. I think he'll make an improvement regardless. Just makes his way through the final few corners, nice and smooth through there, unlike Lucas Percy we saw a few moments ago. Over the line, 136.3 for Avenged Alfie, does improve. Like I say, doesn't move him up any positions. Del Branco slightly down on his best time. He really needs to find some pace on this run. He's currently got Tom out qualifying him, so he's got to find some pace from somewhere, or he's got to try and fight it out on the racetrack. Come the end of the race, he had a bit of a wobble there on exit. Seen a few of the Red Bulls, or both Red Bulls, having a bit of a wobble in some places. Lucas Percy having the biggest of them. But Del Branco is not improving on this run, and the red light has come on the back of that Red Bull, which means he's charging his battery and he will have to go again. Josh S Gaming 136.1 gets himself up into the times. George Matt taking the new route around Abu Dhabi. Currently not in this year's game. It will be in the next game, F1 22. Delphi's heading for the pit lane. What's NZ Pro up to on a lap? I didn't see the split time at the first sector, so I'm going to be guesstimating this one a little bit until he gets to that second sector detection point, which is at the bottom of the support pit straight. Has a bit of a wobble over that curb going through the chicane. He straight lines it down the back, and it's a purple second sector for him, slightly improving on his best time. He must have had quite a poor first sector if he's gone purple there, because he's only got a 136.8 on the board currently. Because Percy slots himself up into third place, or 135.2. And Enzo's just got to try and find some more time here as he makes his way round the final corner. Over the line he goes, 136.3 for NZ Pro, with a purple second sector, slots him into 10th place. What's Mama up to? Apologies about that again. What's Mama up to? The answer is half a tenth up on his best time so far in the middle sector, but he's got the chicane all wrong. He's taken too much curb, and that is that lap over and done with. Dankybot in the Ferrari, making his way. I think it's Dankybot. Dannybot. I apologise if you're getting offended there, but I can't say that as he has a bit of a wobble coming through the final few corners. Apologies about the remoter there again. That's going to do my head in tonight. Say any sudden movements of the controller and it just does that, so apologies in advance. Danny Bot goes 8th fastest with that time, 136.2. Deadly Mosquito out on mediums, he can't do anything at the minute. Lucas Percy, interestingly, did that lap on mediums, the 135.2. That's it's pretty good going to say the least. Hats off to that man. Tom is about to start his next lap. We have just under 2 minutes to go. See if he can make an improvement out on track and do anything this time round. Be easier said than done. And slightly up on his best time, ever so slightly by a fraction of a second. I mean a fraction. And he's backed out of that lap, so he will have to sit down and go again. Oh, George Matt's in the wall. Just caught that. That is at the end of the first sector. That's coming through the S's. He's lost the rear end of the car. He's damaged the front wing. That might be his qualifying. Well, it is his qualifying session over because he's been disqualified as he's moved back onto the racetrack. So George Matt is out. Didn't have a time on the board either. Dr. Troop's in the wall. That's at the chicane. He's looped that Haas around. That might need a reset sooner rather than later. As the checkered flag is out. And Lucas Percy can't do any better. Where's Del Branco on the racetrack? The answer is not improving, so it's not looking good for Del Branco, unfortunately, when it comes to the title race. Very unlikely he's going to be able to do anything about that. And that is qualifying then. That is the end of it. And it looks like Tomgo Prof is going to be very comfortable at the front. Void is on pole position. Tomgo Prof second. Lucas Percy is third. Galgro's fourth. Del Branco, he needs to score big tonight, and he's down in fifth. He's got a long way to do from back there. Rhett Diver sixth. Josh Jess Gaming seventh. Danny Bot eighth. Avenged Delphine ninth. NZ Pro is 10th, Mac Magicians 11th, Spray and Praise 12th, Dr. Troop is P13, Mama Mama's 14th, Deadly Mosquito 15th, One Priest 16th, and George Matt is P17 after being disqualified. Guys, stay tuned and we'll be back shortly for the race. Welcome back, guys, to the Global Racing Network. The formation lap is underway for round number 19 of GRL Tier 1. It's the final round of the season. Just a quick reminder of the grid for you. Void in the Alfa Romeo starts from pole position. The main championship leader, Tomgo Prof, starts second on the grid with Lucas Percy behind him in third. Galgro starts fourth. And there is the main challenger, Dale Branco. Not scored in the last 3 races. He's left it very, very late indeed. And that might be very costly indeed for him. He starts from 5th on the grid. And has got it all to do. He really needs to outscore Tom today, really, to give himself any chance. Rec Diver starts 6th on the grid. Josh Jess Gaming starts 7th. Dankybot starts 8th. Avenged Alfeet starts 9th. Ender Pro starts 10th. Mac Magician starts 11th. Spray and Pray 12th. Dr. Troops 13th. Mama starts 14th. Deadly Mosquito starts 15th, One Pre 16th, and George Matt is at the back in P17. And we've got 28 laps. 28 laps of the Yas Marina circuit to do this evening to decide the championship. It's come right down to the wire. It's going to be very interesting indeed to see who comes out on top. Sean Torella, can Tom go for 3 World Championships, or will Branco break the streak? I'm not a betting man, but I would like to take my gamble on Branco, to be honest. He's driven well all season, like I say, just not scored in the last 3. But I think it could come down to a last lap shootout. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say no more about that as the cars line up on the grid. That is Void's look down towards turn 1. That is Tom's look down towards turn 1. And over on the left hand side, a row behind him, is D-Held Branco. So final few cars. George Matt slotting in at the back. And we'll be ready to go for the final round of the season. Round number 19 of GRL Season 3. It's been another fantastic season. And we go to 5 red lights here at Yas Marina. And it's lights out and away we go for the final race of the season. It's a good getaway from Void, who sneaks into the lead and holds his position as Tomgo Prof is up into second. And maintains that, fends off Lucas Percy well. DL Branco's making a move on Galgro and gets the move done very early on indeed. He needed that for his race, and that has put him right into the mix as they head into the chicane for the first time. They're all jostling for position. A little bit of a tail wag from DL Branco there. Galgro's going to have a dive up the inside of the championship contender, and he just about avoids it. Near contact there. And Galgro's not giving this one up. He's going to battle it away with Dale Branco down the straight. They make their way down into the chicane for the first time. And Tomgo Prof is being held up by Void at the front. Galgro has a little wobble on exit, but Dale Branco's work is all undone. After a very good start, he's undone it in the first few corners. As Galgro scrapping with his teammate Lucas Percy. Lucas could really do with trying to get ahead of Tom here to try and help his teammate out, you would think. And try and bring them into play. We've got a spinner in the back, and I believe it's Mac Magician in the Ferrari. Yes, he is. He's in the wall on the exit of the chicane. He's got it pointing back in the right direction. I'm wondering if there was some form of contact involved there. But so far, so good for Tomgo Prof. It is only the end of the first lap. But he's not had any amateur dramatics at the start. He's kept his cool out in front to start off with. Dale Branco is starting to drop off the back of this group as Galgro is... I know it's early stages, but he's really starting to hold him up now. Dr. Troop has had a crash. That could be a safety car, and that could bring them all back together. Virtual safety car deployed. What has happened to Dr. Troop? The answer, he's gone hard into the wall at the S's and lost his tyre. So virtual safety car deployed. That is going to not bunch the field up, but it will slow everyone up a little bit. Theo Branco might be able to catch up a little bit with the Delta. You'll have to be careful though. Car is cleared away. And the racing should get back underway very, very shortly. As they file away through the chicane at slow speed. And we should be any second now going back green, and we are indeed. And Matt Magician's picked up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. He was not at the Delta when the green flag dropped, so even though he is at the back of the field, he's got a drive-through to serve on top of that after having the incident very, very early on. Now Lucas Percy here, I think he's going to try and help out his teammate Dale Branco. He's trying to get past Tom to try and make something happen. Mama has had a crash. And he is out of the race. Is that going to be a safety car? He is out, so... or will they manage to get the car cleaned up? NZ Pros are also crashed now. That could be bring out the safety car potentially. Have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Lucas Percy still trying to get past Tom to try and help his teammate out in this championship fight. He's got DRS's. Lucas Percy is going to try and go the long way around. Tom defending it fairly well, but the nose to tail of these two. Oh, in the meantime, Dale Branco's trying to get past Galgro for 4th place, which he currently can't find a way through. Lucas Percy's just actually picked up a penalty there for extending track limits a little bit too far. But he's still bumper to bumper with Tom here, and all he needs to do is get past Tom, hold him up as much as he can, allow his teammate back into the fray, and then it could be a very interesting end or midway clash through the race. As we have another crash. That's Spray and Pray having a spin at the S's this time. As was going to stay with these two because there's still nose to tail between the pair of them. Lucas Percy will have DRS here. Should get the move done on Tom if he can, but the Mercedes just has a lot of straight line speed. Lucas Percy's going to try and go later on the brakes. He's trying to not use battery, I think, Lucas Percy, and he barges his way through. That is going to help him and his team out in this championship fight. Tonga Prof will get DRS to come back at him, which Lucas Percy is just swapping positions with Tonga Prof, letting themselves battle to bring his teammate back into play. But at the minute, his teammate cannot find a way past Galgros. Lucas Percy's going to have a dive up the inside into the hotel section, gets it stopped, gets the move done. Lucas Percy back up into second. Meanwhile, Void Beam is just running away at the front. There is Void Beam up the road, and there is Lucas Percy and Tonga Prof still battling away with each other. Tom is backing it off by the looks of things. He knows what the Red Bulls are trying to do to try and affect this fight. So Lucas Percy up into second, posted a purple second sector. Meanwhile, Galgro's still defending. Del Branco cannot find a way past him. Dankybot is out of the session. Is that going to cause anything? That's a safety car. That is a safety car. Dankybot has gone, oh, he's gone hard into the wall. Has the Ferrari driver. That's going to play into the hands of the guys who have just entered the pit lane. Now, what does this bring for race strategy? Because Lucas Percy is on the mediums. Does he stay out and try and help out his teammate here? It's going to be interesting to say the least. Everyone else on softs around him. One pre George Matt started on mediums, still are on mediums. They're the only 3 drivers inside the top 10 who are. So this could get interesting at the pit stops. Voidbeam, you'd think, is definitely gonna not quibble over a free pit stop, you would think. It's just whether the others will or not. Or will they try and jump the queue and try and get themselves back in front? Voidbeam is in. I think that's the right call, to be honest. Lucas Percy is in. Tomgo Prof is in. Galgro's in, Del Branco's in. This could be a disaster for Red Bull. They're going to double stack here. I would have stayed out if I was Del Branco. I think they are going to queue up, but they're going to block Tom on the X. Oh, are they? No. They ghosted through each other. I thought Tom was going to get held up in the pit lane there, and he didn't. But the crucial thing is Lucas Percy is still come out ahead of Tomgo Prof, so he can still affect the race for them. George Matt and One Pre have stayed out, so One Pre has taken the race lead in the Alpine. But it's crucial that Lucas Percy did stay ahead. I thought Tom was boxed in there, but he managed to get going somehow. Over the Mercedes found a gap between the two of them, and he just got out in time before his exit was going to be blocked. Well, what a dramatic turn of events. Guys, stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this one. And we'll be back shortly for the restart. Welcome back, guys, to the Global Racing Network. The safety car is coming in and Wampri has put his foot down out of the final corner, and we are back underway here for this showdown. That is doing my head in, is this controller. Apologies about that. Wampri leads the way. Void is trying to get past in the early stages. Lucas Percy's trying to barge his way past George Matt as well. George Matt on older tyres, of course. And I think he's been barged out the way. He has indeed. George Matt has lost position. So he's down to 4th. He's got the championship leader Tongo Prof now behind him. Galgro's going to have a go at Tom down into the chicane. He's going to have a look up the inside. Tom sees him coming, covers him off. Nose to tail into the chicane, but Galgro's going to try and go the outside and get the inside for the next corner. Has to bump his way over the curb, holds up Wreck Diver behind him on exit. Great racing, but he might have helped out DL Branco there, because DL Branco's going to try and get past Wreck Diver. Heading into the corner, and DL Branco is up into 7th. Only a position behind Tomgo Prof, but he's once again back behind Galgro, who he could not get past in the opening laps of this race. Lucas Percy has just got past Wampri. Wampri and George Matt are starting to fall down the order. I don't think they've got as much pace in their cars as these guys around them. Only time will tell on that. Galgro still working hard. There's George Matt and Galgro banging wheels with each other. The Branco's trying to get involved in this one as well. George Matt lets them go. The lot of them, as George Matt had a crash. No, he hasn't. He's kept himself out of the wall. I saw a yellow there, which made me a little bit worried that something had happened. He about lives to fight another day. Only Galgro separates DL Branco and Tomgo Prof. And the way this race has gone so far, it's been such an up and down race, anything could happen really. As Tom is going to have his attack at Wampri. Will Wampri put up much of a fight? The answer to that is no. There are now 2 positions between the 2 championship contenders. Galgro still holding his position. DL Branco's coming under pressure from Wreck Diver. It's not gone to plan so far for that Red Bull driver. To make their way through the final few corners once again. CRE Void pulling away at the front. 1:37.7 for him. 2-stop race. We're expecting drivers to stop again. Nobody else has gone onto the hard tyre, so everyone's going to try and do as best as they can in this race to make as much ground as possible. Tom's starting to stretch his legs away from this group. Wampri and Galgro are going to have a little bit of a scrap behind him. DL Branco will try and get involved in this one as well. Galgro nose to tail. Can't quite do anything there on board with him. He's using DRS. He's got overtake button on as well. On board from DL Branco's point of view. Galgro up the inside, gets past Wampri, up into 4th place. And Wampri is going to be going backwards here, I think, with everyone else around him on fresher tyres. I don't think there's a lot of choice really. Dale Branco just can't find a way past that Alpine. Really struggling to find a gap that is going to be suitable to put two Formula 1 cars side by side round here. He's working hard for it, he is trying. You can tell he is just by his driving style more than anything else, but he's gone very wide, and Dale Branco has lost it over the curb into the grass. He's kept it out of the wall, but that might be the championship there. Safety car is out because we've also lost George Matt in the moments just behind him. George Matt has gone hard into the wall. Safety car deployed because we had two cars off the racetrack. And is that the championship there and done due to a little mistake from Dale Branco? Only time will tell. I've got a funny feeling it probably is, unless something else dramatic happens in this race. I think that I've got a funny feeling that might be it, unless something else dramatic happens. So Tom will cruise round. This is actually quite good for Wampre's race here, because he's going to get 3 pit stops. So is Matt Magician, so is Deadly Mosquito. So as Tom is in, that is interesting. Is Dale Branco going in? Yes, he is. Tom's actually dropped a handful of positions in that one. This has brought Dale Branco pretty close to him. Might not be over yet, you know, even after that mistake. Between Tom Go Prof and Dale Branco, there's only Matt Magician now separating the two of them. So it could be anybody's game. Guys, stay tuned and we'll be back shortly for the restart. Welcome back, guys, to the Global Racing Network. The safety car is coming in at the end of this lap, and we'll be back underway for racing. Galgro leads the way, and he's backing up the field as much as he can, but only two. Oh, who's that in the wall? At the restart, that is Avenged Alfie. In the wall at the restart, he's had a huge smash. He's lost the car when he's tried to set off, and that is a disaster for him. But meanwhile, as we get back underway, I was about to say, only Matt Magician separates DL Branco and Tom will go prof on the restart. And Avenged Alfie is out of the race after that incident. Is that going to bring out any safety car of any description? I don't know. There is debris all over the track. Might potentially bring a virtual out, but now there is nothing about to separate Tom Go Prof and DL Branco. DL Branco is through into 8th place, and he has got Tom right up the road, his main championship contender. We will not get a safety car or anything else, as the car of Avenged Alfie has been cleared away. It's the 6th retirement of the evening. Now Tom knows he's got to get past, but at the minute he's got Josh Chess Gaming and One Pre in front, who are scrapping away over 5th place. And DL Branco is going to catch on to Tom pretty quickly here. He knows what's at stake, and if he can make the move on Tom, jump ahead of him and pull ahead of him, it could be a big points score, and it potentially could be a move that gets him the championship. Oh, who's that off the road? That is Lucas Percy off the road. That is DL Branco's teammate out of the equation. So Tom up to 6th, Branco up to 7th after all that. Everyone moves up 1. Apart from Deadly Mosquito, who's just not quite quick enough to get to the scene. Sneak ahead, Josh Gaming defending hard. Tom Go Prof heavy on the brakes. DL Branco actually runs into the back of him there. Just Gaming going defensive. Tom knows what he's got to do. He knows he's got to get past. Is DL Branco going to follow him through? You'd think he'd have to. He's got to follow way through. Is all he's got. DL Branco almost had a dive up the inside of Tom there. Into the chicane, but Tom's got a little bit loose on the exit. That's going to give DL Branco an opportunity to make the move. The nose to tail between the two of them. They know what's at stake. DL Branco up the inside. Tom almost barges him out of the way, going into the chicane. DL Branco has to cede way to avoid contact. Otherwise it could have potentially been race-ending contact that. They're all still alive. DL Branco is trying his absolute hardest to make Tom Go Prof pay. Tom is charging his battery. You know, is what at stake here, and Tom is actually not got any battery left, while DL Branco has still got some in the tank. And he's doing everything to stay with Tom here. Say the gap. on! Foyden, Galgro, the race leaders have had contact! I just caught the tail end of that from Dale Branco's onboard. Void is out the equation. They're all scrapping for the race lead. This is going to turn absolutely insane. You'd think Dale Branco really needs to take an opportunity here to make a move stick. And Dale Branco has to sit behind a lot of them. Galgro still leads the way. One pre has wheel spin on the exit. Dale Branco is going to make the move on Tom GoProf. Down the inside he goes. And I don't know who's come out the corner. The answer is Dale Branco's come out ahead, and now he's having a look at Wreck Diver as they wheel bang down the old pit straight. Sorry, not the old pit straight, the support pit straight, should I say. Dale Branco's up there. Wreck Diver now separates the two of them, but it looks like Wreck Diver's race has turned on an absolute head. And Tom GoProf, it looks like the championship, potentially, if he can't do anything about it, may be slipping away from him due to this ongoing battle for the lead. Dale Branco third, Tom GoProf fourth. I need to have a look at the championship standings to see if that will be enough between the two of them. I don't know if it will be or not, but at the minute Dale Branco really needs to get into the race lead here, and if he can do that, he has got a very good chance. I'm just having a look. It's 268 to 253 on the points. Dale Branco currently sat in third, would score 12, which would take him to 265, which would leave him falling short on Tom GoProf. Oh, we got safety car. What has happened there? CRT Void and Spray and Pray have had an incident. And that's brought out a safety car, which is going to give everyone an opportunity to box once again. So at the minute, it gives us a breather to have a look. 265 Dale Branco would have. If Dale Branco wins the race, he would get 278. As everyone is going to head for the pit lane, you would think. Oh, Dale Branco, does he stay out? The answer to that is yes. Dale Branco stayed out. Has Tom stayed out? The answer to that is yes as well. As the two championship, right, I am going to have to do my maths again. Well, I know for Dale Branco would be on 278, That for a fact. Tomgo Prof, if I can get the standings up again, is on 268 currently, and he would score, if it stayed where it is, 18 points. Okay, this could get confusing very quickly indeed. .278 for DL Branco, and then Tomgo Prof is on 268. Which should bring him to 286. Which means Tomgo Prof, even if it stays like this, would win the championship by 8 points if it stays as it is. So Tomgo Prof, really, DL Branco's got to win. That's there's no question about that. DL Branco has got to win this race. Without a doubt, otherwise he will just not have a chance whatsoever. If Tom finishes in third, from what I believe, yeah, so if Tom finishes third, or I'll just double check that. Tom finishes third or below, DL Branco wins the championship. But if Tom stays where he is, he has got the championship to his name. That is just from my very quick maths. Because Tom, if he finishes third, will finish 283. We'll finish in fact no, Tom's got to finish lower than that. He's got to finish like fourth. I think it's out of DL Branco's hands here, as we're going to get back underway once again for the restart. DL Branco pulls away. Tom's got to have a nightmare basically to not have this championship, but Lucas Percy could make it a nightmare, to be fair. The second Red Bull driver could potentially do something about it if he can just sneak his way past Tom and hold Tom off, let a few other cars go past him. It's not a disaster, this. I mean, Tom's got to finish miles down to even... Yes, Tom's got to finish. If Del Branco wants to win the championship, Tom has got to finish 4-4 below if he's going to have a chance. But at the minute, it looks very unlikely that that is going to happen. It looks like Tom Go Prof is going to have this one in the bag, unfortunately. So, unless something very dramatic happens, which I very much doubt, but it looks like he's going to try and go for the move on Del Branco. I think Del Branco not scoring in the last 3 races has not helped his championship cause. He's let Tom back into it because of it, and but Galgro is going to make a move here on Tom Go Prof. He's going to get that to the inside and has got past Tom Go Prof into 2nd place. So Tom's lost a position. So anything could happen from here. As Wreck Dive is going to look to try and get past now. One Priest sitting in wait as well. Anything could happen here in these last few laps. At the minute, Tom is scoring 283, which will win the championship by 5 points. If he drops down to 5th, which it looks like is getting ever more likely, as Wreck Dive is going to try and make a move on him. Round the outside he goes. If he drops down to 5th, they're going to be tied on points at the minute, which is ever more likely as the Alpine and the McLaren are having a go at Tom. This might be falling very quickly indeed into Del Branco's hands. But at the minute, there would be, if Tom finished 5th, they would be tied on points, which means it would go back to race point scoring, which means Tom will still win the championship. So Tom's got Tom has got to be 6-4 below for Del Branco to have the championship, which is, in all honesty, looking ever more likely. I don't think Tom's got any battery left. No, he hasn't. He's really, really struggling, is Tom Go Prof. And 6th place is not far away from him either in Josh Jez Gaming. Could there be a massive party pooper? And in dramatic circumstances, Del Branco wins the championship. It is going to go right to the wire as Wreck Diver is going to be the first of them to get past. Maybe the Alpine might follow through on Tom as well. It does indeed. Rompre is up into 5th. Up into 4th, sorry. And Wreck Diver's up into 3rd. That means they are tied on points if it stays like this at 278. Well, hang on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because there is 4 laps to go in this race, and it could be anyone's game, and Josh J's Gaming is not far behind this group either. If Tom drops behind Josh J's Gaming, Dale Branco has the World Championship. Which is getting ever more likely because Wampri is defending well, Wreck Diver is. Tom's just having to sit behind them at the minute, and it's allowing Josh J's Gaming to pull himself into the fray. And Josh J's Gaming has got a bootload of battery compared to Tom Go Prof left to use. This is going to go right down to the wire. It's not going to be the two that we're expecting to have a scrap. It's going to be outside influence that's going to affect this one come the end of the race. But has Josh J's Gaming got a penalty? I think he has. I need to have a look, see what the penalty. Josh J's Gaming's got a 3-second penalty, so he would need to pull 3 seconds ahead of Tom. At the minute, they're tied on points. I don't know what decision it would go down to. I think it would be count back from races. But at the minute, if my maths are right, they are both tied on points if it stays like this. Which I hope it's right, because I'm just giving a load of false information otherwise. Yes, they, as far as I'm aware, they would be tied on 278. So, if it stays like this. As Tom is on the back of Wampri, Galgro's starting to fall back a little bit now. Dale Branco really needs it to stay as it is, really, I would think. Let's say they'd both be tied on 278. I'm going to have to look into the league rules, which I never read whatsoever. To see the event of a tie for the championship. I'm going to have to scroll through it pretty quickly on 26 of 28. I'm not sure where it would go from there. Whether it would go down to race wins or not, because Dale Branco has won 5 races and Tom has not won a race this season. So I don't know what it would come down to. I'm going to get to the end of this, but Galgro's actually having a go on Dale Branco. That could change everything for Tom Go Prof. Dale Branco knows he's got to get back in front. I didn't even see that happening up at the front. Galgro won't have any DRS now though, so has he gone for that move a little bit early? Only time will tell. How much battery has he got to defend to overtake? The answer is not a lot. So we're going to go on to the penultimate lap, but that is another swing in this championship fight. Which, like I say, would give Tom the World Championship if it stayed like that. So it is going to be very, very touch and go indeed. But Dale Branco looks like he's struggling for pace out there. Galgro's starting to pull away. It'll be a great result for Galgro if he gets his first win in GRL. Because I don't think he has got a win yet. He's gone very deep though into the hairpin. He's actually gone off the road in the hairpin. That's going to allow Dale Branco to have a run at him. I don't think Galgro has actually won a GRL race. As Dale Branco goes to the outside of him, Galgro covers him off. Contact between the two of them. And they just about live to fight another day. According to this, Gallagher has not won a race, so this could be his first win in GRL in very dramatic circumstances, and it could shape the championship as well. Well, it looks like, ever more likely, it's swinging into Tom's favour now for him to become a three-time champion. Just to the outside and can't do anything there, DL Branco. As we go on to the final lap. And it's now or never for DL Branco. He needs to make the move. But at the same time, Tommy's going to try and barge his way past Wampri, you would like to think. So it's now or never for DL Branco if he's going to do this move. See, he's got the benefit of the DRS to close up, go to the outside. He's going to be late on the brakes. Again, can't quite get the move done. They have to follow each other around. It still could be anybody's race, this, in the actual race as a whole. DL Branco looking to make the move, he makes the lunge on Galgro! Galgro has the inside for the corner, bumping each other off the road. Galgro's lost a handful of positions. It was a late move by DL Branco, he knew he had to make it. But if Tom gets past Galgro, which I think he has, there's contact between the two of them! Oh, that is crucial in the championship fight. Galgro is out and has lost the rear end. So if it stays like that, Tom has got the championship. But in very dramatic circumstances, DL Branco has done all he can to do it. He's going to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but comes across the line, and Tom Prof is a three-time champion of the world in GRL in very dramatic fashion on the. He just about lives to fight another day. And Tom Prof is the world champion for the third time in GRL. Whether he will be in trouble for that incident against Galgro, I think it's going to go to the steward's room after the race. But as it stands on the racetrack, Tom Prof is a three-time GRL champion, and he thoroughly deserves it as well. A very dramatic race in very dramatic circumstances. Like I say, it may go to the steward's room after. We just don't know due to that incident on the last lap. If it does, then DL Branco's won it, but we just don't know until it's gone there. Guys, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you for next season in Season 4.